Put some A10 sauce on that steak, meat boys, because Jim Miller, aka A10, is coming with a steak-sized vengeance in this rematch against Cowboy Cerrone. And I say rematch because these two dudes fought way back in 2014. It was a headlining spot, and the last time Jim Miller headlined a UFC show, and Cowboy managed to finish him with a gnarly second round head kick. And what I find interesting on the surface in this rematch is like on the surface, it seems like both these two dudes' UFC stories are pretty similar from that point forward. I mean, Jim Miller has fought 21 times since that first fight. He's gone 10 and 11, and Cowboy, meanwhile, has fought 23 times since then, and he's gone 12, 10, and 1. So a similar amount of fights, a similar amount of wins, but it's a little misleading, right? Because Jim Miller is looking pretty nice of late, riding a two-fight win streak, whereas Cowboy hasn't won in his last 6 fights.
And that's just facts.
Because it hasn't been as great of late for Cowboy, and he doesn't have to cut for this one since it's at 170, which is pretty nice, but it's a first and third all-time guys on the UFC bouts list. Respect only for these two legends in this rematch. Who are you taking in this one, Meat? Are you going with Cowboy Cerrone, or does Jim Miller get it done?
I would love to root for Cerrone. He is definitely due for a win. I actually, he's just due for a fight. Let's be honest. So let's just pray that this actually even happens. I would hate to see Cerrone go for his third weight cut in a month. And he's definitely due. This is probably his retirement fight. He's pushing 40. So is Milski. Mr. A10. And I think A10's just been looking sharp, man. He's been dropping young bucks while Cerrone's been getting dropped. So I just can't really ride it. Even though I hope he's due for one. I hope he gets it done. But I gotta ride A Miller, and that is my pick.
Yeah, you wonder how those weight cuts are going to add up against Cowboy. I mean, it's again great that this fight is at 170, and he doesn't have to go through as brutal of a cut. He can kind of just walk in and get things done. And I'm also on the other side interested to see what Jim Miller looks like at welterweight because that's something we haven't seen. So we'll see if the weight plays any sort of factor into this one. But if you look over at Topology, 76% is rolling with A10 Miller. Majority of it is Brown. They think that KO TKO is most likely. 24% is rolling with Cowboy Cerrone. And ultimately, I'm going to have to ride with Topology. I'm going to ride with Jim Miller. I hate picking against Cowboy, but Jim Miller, I think at this point in their career, is just in a little bit better of a groove, and I like him being able to probably get this thing down to the mat and be able to actually hold Cowboy down. And I know Cowboy has some serious jiu-jitsu, and maybe he relishes in a spot like that with Jim Miller, but I don't know. I just think that Miller's gonna be able to control him in this one and likely get a decision. So I'm definitely not watching Terror on the Prairie this weekend, but I definitely am excited for this one. So any last thoughts on Miller versus Cowboy?
No, it's a great matchup, great fight. Pumped to see both these vets get in and duke it out. Throw in the comments who you got, A10 or Cowboy.